This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, here along with Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR car guys, heard every Saturday from 11 to noon. At Bumper Radio, we are helping you, the motoring public, have a better car experience. If you've got car questions, we've got car answers, so we encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also get a hold of us by text at 411-923. And today on the road map, we have some emails from some listeners that we'll get to. And we're going to have open phones and texting. Sounds like we'll give you a little insight into the Good Guys car show that's going on today. An engine cooling system. A number of weeks back, we talked about air conditioning for your car, and that's to keep you cool. But
people get those two confused a lot.
Right, yeah, my car needs more coolant because I'm kind of hot.
I told them we have a cooling system leak. Oh, no, my air conditioner works fine. Yes, you're right, it does. It's the cooling system that we're talking about here. So, yeah, I mean, a couple weeks ago, AC, and it was timely. I think we had record heat yesterday, didn't we, Dave? Something like hit 90 degrees?
Oh, we did, and it's one of those deals where you kind of got to be scratching your head. You know, is my engine up to snuff? It's getting hot out because, you know, if you don't like it when it's hot out, I can guarantee your car doesn't like it when it's hot out either. And it's that time of year. When in the life cycle of your car, Matt, is cooling system even come up on your radar? I mean, you got a car that's 3 years old. Are you worried about your cooling system?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, you know, when we were talking before the show, Dave, I mean, thinking, who are we talking to? The people out there listening are wondering, well, do I have to worry about my cooling system? Unless you're over 60,000 miles, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. 5 or 6 year old car, not a big deal.
Not an issue.
It's something that you want to have checked as part of your regular services, making sure the fluid level is full and the pressure cap is working. You know, it used to be we'd service the cooling system once a year on some cars, and then that crept up to you were doing a flush or a service every 30,000 miles. And now the manufacturers are saying 100,000 miles on the cooling system. And in a perfect world, that's okay. But we all know the Phoenix weather is not a perfect world, where you get people that check the fluids or taking the cap off, which really you don't need to do on a newer car. You want to keep that system sealed. You don't want to put tap water in it. There's no need to constantly be topping it off.
Well, if it's not leaking, it's not low on fluid. I mean, in some instances, yes, it could be consuming fluid, but that's not your 60,000-mile car. That's your 120,000-mile car, something further down the life cycle of the automobile. You know, on my Honda, I've got 85,000 miles on it, and I've serviced the radiator twice, once at 30, once at 60. And all we did was drain it out and then just change out what was in the radiator. It wasn't a flush or anything extensive like that, just a drain and fill.
Well, when it's clean, you don't already. I mean, the idea here, we're talking about maintenance. Do you want to wait till it's bad or dirty to change it, or do you want to catch it right before the tipping point? That's the ideal way, to service the car. But, let's talk about these systems. They're complex. You take your 1985 car, whatever that is. It probably had a belt-driven fan. It could have
had an 85 Buick LeSabre.
I mean, it could have had a electronic cooling fan. But as the cars, the modern car, a few years old now, we have low hood lines, we have plastic components, we have very small openings in the grill. And these cars, I remember the Jeep Cherokees, Dave, remember? They'd run 210 degrees and everybody thinks they're overheating. Well, that was hot for that car right now, but it's not coming to have a car running well up into the 200, 230 range.
Well, the thing is that nothing ruins a car faster than a cooling system that fails. So you're driving down the freeway and radiator hose pops off and, it's a big messy, or the water pump goes bad and there's steam coming out from under the hood. That's not good. I mean, these engines, the way they're built, I mean, they're well designed, but they just don't put up with overheating very well. And something like that will happen. They'll see that, the gauge go up and steam coming out and all that stuff. And the gauge doesn't always go up. That's one thing to mention.
Well, yeah, I mean, if, that gauge is just your picture your finger sticking into a pan of boiling water. Well, if you've poured all the boiling water out and just stick your finger in the pan, it's not going to get hot. course, if you don't touch it. But that temperature sensor has to have water flowing over it all the time. I hear it all the time. The dads are mad at the kids. Weren't you looking at the temperature gauge? And you do sometimes have to step up and defend the kid or the spouse. And it goes both ways, believe me. To say, maybe they didn't really know it was overheating, and I believe that the gauge didn't go up because there was no water to transfer that heat. But you're right. You can take, we can take an expensive car. I've seen, newer BMWs, 5-6 years old, that had a bad water pump, and they just driving, they overheat, and they just ruin the car. But you can take I'm talking an expensive car, but you can take take your college guy, kid, son, daughter, your high schooler. They got a nice, perfectly good $5,000, $7,000 used car. Neglecting the cooling system is one way to put that thing right in its grave prematurely, for sure.
It's funny. We call people, you're going to offer them a major repair. You say, hey, what are your plans for the future of this car? Well, I'm going to run it into the grave. Well, right now it is. It's already there. So are we going to fix it or not?
It's funny people say that, but we talk about I'm just going to run it I'm going to run it to the ground. Why would you ruin your car? Just take care of it. And then I'll buy a new one. Well, how about you take care of it until you're ready to buy a new one? Then you've got some trade-in value or some sale value, and you've actually got some equity here, and you're not going to be the guy on the side of the road.
Well, if we just take the simple system, just to talk about the components that are involved in a cooling system, there is a water pump. That is the heart of the cooling system. In old days, they were always driven by the belt. Nowadays, some are electric, the electric motor, and then some are still driven by the belt. Some are timing belt driven, and some are serpentine belt driven.
And timing chain driven. There's some of those.
Correct. So you've got the heart. That's the system. It's going to pump water throughout. It's going to pump it up to the radiator. That's where the air is going to hit it. And then there's going to be cooling fans. Sometimes they're driven by the engine. Sometimes they're electrically driven with electric motors. Those fans draw air across the radiator, and that cools the water that we're pumping up that way. And then you also have a thermostat, and I may be doing this a little bit backwards, but the thermostat, what that does is when you first start your car, we don't need to be cooling that car. We need it to come up to operating temperature. So the thermostat is what restricts the flow of coolant until it warms up. It finally opens, and then the coolant can flow. So those are some of the buzzwords you're going to hear. You're going to hear thermostat, you're going to hear water pump, you're going to hear radiator, and the other thing you're going to hear is hoses. We've got hoses that connect the engine to the radiator, and then we've also got heater hoses too.
You got heater hoses. So now you've got here's your veins, right? We've got arteries and we've got veins. So you've got your big cooling system hoses, the main arteries of the car.
The upper and lower hose, you're going to hear that one a lot.
Yeah, and then and much like your veins and arteries, they rot from the inside out, and they get plugged up, or they're
little plaque in there.
They're corroded. And then you've got your heater hoses that connect to allow the water to flow into the car to give heat. You've got a heater control valve. There's all kinds of different components here. Temperature sensors. Sometimes we're going to have some lights on the dash too, right? You've got the dash, and when I say it looks like a radiator, picture your old school radiator to heat a room. It's got some vents and a little steam coming out of it. That might be a low cooling system warning light, and what there is a float in your coolant reservoir that when the system gets low, that picture your toilet, the little sensor is going to sink to the bottom.
I never seen the back of my toilet.
You never open up the lid, huh?
No.
So you're going to, that sensor's, the float's going to sink down. It's going to engage an electronic switch, and that's going to turn on the light. Hey, we've got a problem, and so we don't want to ignore those lights.
Well, in a huge way in this town, or really any town, but it's so hot here, not, to avoid the catastrophic failures of your car, putting your car in the grave, is the cooling system. You don't want to ignore an overheat. You don't want to, overheating is bad.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's really changed is in the old days, we used to put radiator hoses on cars all the time. And now there's so much, the rubber got better or something. Somewhere along the lines.
Well, the component, the rubber's better. The hoses aren't made up of all rubber. There's some other, parts of that recipe now, and these things just don't wear out like they used to. That at the gas station, belts and hoses every year. But you still want to make sure that we're servicing these components as a system. That when you're going to break it open, so to speak, if you're going to be working on one part, everything's connected. So you really want to be asking questions. Is there other stuff we should be doing? When does it make sense to do a hose? Should we do a water pump now? Should we, whatever?
The things that come up for me every springtime is the air condition. You got to be comfortable. Air conditioning's a big deal. The engine's cooling system, that's a big deal. And then the engine, the battery, the starting thing. Because when it gets hot, batteries like to die. I mean, you think about, talking to the guys at Interstate, and they said, we can literally chart out, the temperature of the day and how many batteries will be sold. And it's year after year after year. The hot, it goes up 10 degrees, sales go up.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you now's the time of year when you're having the cooling system checked, get to an Interstate battery store, get to your bumper-to-bumper radio shop, ask them about an Interstate battery, have it checked. You're going to buy one eventually, so the best time to do it is before you're on the side of the road. I had a guy come in the shop the other day, 5-year-old battery. I was surprised, but he came from the Midwest. Not too cold, not too hot.
Maybe he was just living right.
That too.
I don't know. If you get more than 2 to 3 years on your battery out here, you're doing well. So when we come back, we got open phones at 602-277-5827, 602-277 KTAR. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
There's only one app that gives you access to immediate information from all the ADOT traffic cameras, police, fire, and rescue scanners, and Detour Dan.
Let's get busy. Here we go.
Download the KTAR News app for your smartphone or tablet and never be late again.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Cool cars, cool people, and good times.
There are literally thousands of hot rods.
That's what you get at a Good Guys Giant Automotive Festival.
My husband loves the swap meet and all the treasures he can find for his car.
We're kicking off the hot rodding season at Westworld in Scottsdale, March 4 through 6, with the 7th Spring Nationals.
We're here for the autocross racing competition.
Totally a hot rodder's dream.
The kids love the cars and I love cars, so why not bring the family out, right?
We're the Good Guys, March 4 through 6 at Westworld. Get tickets and more info at good-guys.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are here to help you with your car. To get a hold of us, 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. The phones are wide open. And, Matt, it's my favorite time of year, and that's marked by the Good Guys Car Show.
You got a couple of favorite times a year.
Yeah, it's always a favorite time of year. The glass is always half full, I hope. At least that's what I think. We should have Michael Henry on the phone with us. Michael Henry's out at the Good Guys Car Show. How's it going, Michael?
My glass is very, very half full, Dave.
Mine's getting a little low. We got to go get a refill.
Well, believe me, I might get an early morning refill when I drop this phone call, but there's plenty of things to be had, including beverages and food, and you guys know the drill. This is Christmas in March for anyone who's interested in anything about cars. It's flipping fantasy line out here. It's just awesome.
Well, it's the autocross that they still won't let me bring my Honda Element to.
Has the Element been in Matt's shop doing some surgery to get it ready for the autocross?
Yeah, please, Matt.
Yeah, you need a little bit of
fresh set of tires,
and then some.
For sure.
Hey, well, listen, guys, I'm going to do a quick handoff here, but it is an amazing weekend. I will give you a couple tips before I hand off to our good friend Betsy Bennett from Good Guys Car Show. But I will tell you this: is driving in, get out early because this thing always fills up. But traffic coming up 101 is actually great right now, and parking's easy, and there's a couple of easy ways to get in. But without further ado, I'm going to do a handoff here real quick to Betsy Bennett from Good Guys Car Show.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Betsy, good to hear from you. It's been since the fall.
Last week, but time flies down here.
For sure.
So the weather's cooperating. It's nice out there. We're not getting totally sun blasted. That's good. And
it is. The weather's beautiful today. The cloud cover has done us a good job. So we have a lot of cars out here. We're going to have about 2,500 hot rods, customs, and classic cars. There's some beautiful cars out here. I'm standing right now with Michael. We're in the Builder's Choice area. So we're looking at some really fantastic cars. There's just a lot of fun things out here today.
Well, there's new stuff out there this year, isn't there?
Yeah, we have. We've added what we call the Nitro Thunderfest, and that is something that we've done at a lot of our shows across the country. But what that is we have a gathering of nostalgia front motor dragsters, and for anybody who's ever been to like a cackle fest for the Nitro cars, we fire those cars up, and the guys are tackle the cars, and it's that old sights and sounds of vintage drag racing. So we added that to this show. We still have the autocross that we're doing. We have a lot of fun things. The kids is going, so a lot of fun things for a family of all ages.
Tell me more. Isn't there an autocross for kids with a little charity going on? And actually, people that come out, spectators can actually come ride in one of the race cars?
So the autocross for kids is a program that we're doing for the Austin Hatcher Foundation for pediatric cancer. And it ran yesterday, and it will run again tomorrow. So people who come out to the event, if they want to take a ride with a pro driver, and we've got some really talented drivers. We have Al Unser Jr., who's won the Indy 500 twice, and Robbie Unser, who is a really famous driver. There's a lot of talented guys in the pro class. So for $20 for a donation to the foundation, you can take a ride with a pro driver on the course. It's a great ride. It's a great lateral G experience, I can tell you.
Fantastic. Well, for those who haven't been out there, they got to get out there. Where can they get tickets to the event?
They can get tickets on our website, which is good-guys.com, or they can just purchase them out here at the event. They can come up to the main specter gate. It's $20 general admission. Kids 7 to 12 are $6, and then the little guys 6 and under are free.
And where again, Betsy? We're at Westworld?
We're at Westworld, yeah. Westworld, Scottsdale. Easy to get to. Like Michael said, the traffic's not bad right now. That's great. So we encourage everybody to come out. It's a car lover's dream. If you love cars, you want to be here.
You know, when they fire up those muscle cars, it just brings a little tear to my eye, especially if it's racing fuel. Racing fuel makes me really misty. Well, thanks, Betsy, and we look forward to seeing you out there today.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that good guy. It's neat to go out there. I sound like a broken record probably, but it's like artwork. There's all kinds of stuff out there. The cars are neat. It doesn't matter what you like. You don't even have to be a car nut. There's just some really, really cool stuff out there.
Well, we got open lines at 602-277-5827. It looks like we're going to go with David in Phoenix. He's got a Ford. How can we help you, David? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hello, friends. Thank you for taking my call. I have a quick question. I have a Honda 2000 Accord, and when I'm driving on the freeway, probably, I don't know, it doesn't matter what speed, 60, 80 miles an hour, whatever, I feel like a little bump, like the car kind of misfire. It doesn't make any sound, but you feel the car, and then the temperature gauge goes all the way down, and then you feel the bump again, and then like a few seconds later, and then this thing goes up again to the regular temperature, like halfway. So we already changed the thermostat, but it seems like it didn't work because he started doing it again. So have you guys ever heard that? And do you have any idea on what it might be?
Is it just momentarily that the gauge drops when you feel the bump, or is it something just momentarily? Yeah, thermostat. I mean, thermostats don't open and close really that quickly. You're not going to see the temperature move that quickly. I'm thinking we might have a problem with the temperature gauge or something along those lines.
Yeah, but if I'm clear, right, there's a symptom. He's not hitting a bump. You actually feel the car not performing well, and it just so happens at the same time the gauge doesn't work properly either, right?
Right.
Are any of your other gauges cutting out at the same time?
No, just what do you call now, the one that measures the RPMs. Kind of like moves a little bit too. I mean, you can feel the engine. You kind of like a bump a little bit, and then just the temperature gauge just drops down all the way to the bottom, and then a few seconds later it goes. You feel the car again, and it goes to the middle again. So it's really weird. And he does it 2 or 3 times when I'm driving, but never on the street, or never when the car is just parked. Nothing, just when I'm on the freeway. So I've never seen that or hear that.
It's strange. I'm beginning, Dave, to wonder if he really doesn't really have an overheating problem.
Me too.
And maybe the car. I mean, you're not going to get a car that's actually going to cool and heat as fast as that gauge is going to sweep. So we have an electrical system issue. It seems to be. Maybe we have a bad temperature sensor. Maybe the gauge is bad, but that's not going to affect the way the car performs. So we got to reduce this down to one common denominator. Maybe we're starting with a battery area, looking for connections, bad connections, loose terminals. It's one of those things, though. We could talk about it all day. Somebody needs to drive this car, feel it, and then we kind of have your senses kick in. Then you kind of get a feel on where to go look.
When we come back, we're taking more phone calls at 602-277-5827. We'll be right back.
Here's what Carrie from Tempe had to say about her experience with Good Works Auto Repair.
As soon as you realize, I need to get some work done on my car, I'm sure the thought occurs to you that you're about to get taken for a ride. I used to share the same sentiment and wondered if the shop was going to make something up and have me spending hundreds of dollars instead of $30 I was planning on for a simple oil change. This is one of the reasons I will only go to Good Works Auto Repair. Because I trust them. Putting trust in an auto shop didn't come easily. It's been built over several visits with them doing exactly what was needed, not coercing me into unnecessary work. Ask them for an oil change and a safety inspection, they do just that. No baloney, list of filters, belts, and whatchamacallits that need replacing on my new car. Thank you, Good Works Auto Repair, for being there for me when I need you.
Appreciate the kind words. It's always a pleasure. Glenn Hayward here. Come experience what award-winning auto service should be. Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, or visit us at goodworksautorepair.com.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
KTAR News, on air, 92.3 FM, online at KTAR.com, and on every device with the KTAR app. Arizona's breaking news and traffic, now.
Good morning, it's 11:03. I'm Brian Rackham. Our top story, voters in 5 states are weighing in on the presidential race today. Democrats and Republicans have contests in Kansas and Louisiana. Maine and Kentucky are holding Republican caucuses, while Democrats caucus in Nebraska. Donald Trump is on the campaign trail today. He spoke in Wichita as his opponents work hard to derail the frontrunner.
The Republicans are eating their own. They got to be very careful. We have to bring things together.
We'll have complete coverage of all of today's races live on KTAR News tonight beginning at 5. A jury could arrive at a verdict Monday in the lawsuit brought by former ESPN reporter Erin Andrews against the hotel she says allowed a stalker to shoot a nude photo of her or nude video through a hotel hotel room peephole. ABC News legal analyst Dan Abrams says it's about putting a price on pain.
If she wins this case, as ugly as it sounds, these jurors will have to put a dollar value on her emotional pain and suffering.
Abrams says a win for Andrews would send a strong message to hotel operators to improve security. Let's take a check of traffic now. Mike Daniels is in the RMEGold.com traffic center.
Well, thanks, Bright Valley. Freeway's accident-free, but we do have a couple of surface street wrecks we want to tell you about. One on 19th Avenue north of Camelback, the other on Van Buren and 40th Street. This report brought to you by the Yamaha YXZ 1000R. Check out the industry-changing Yamaha YXZ 1000R, the world's only pure sports side-by-side. See your local Yamaha dealer to take advantage of special low finance offers. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Partly cloudy skies today, cooler, the high at 84. Cloudy tonight with the low 56. We could see some rain tomorrow. Right now, 76 degrees in Anthem. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air. I'm Brian Rackham, KTAR News.
Cool cars, cool people, and good times.
There are literally thousands of hot rods.
That's what you get at a Good Guys Giant Automotive Festival.
My husband loves the swap meet and all the treasures he can find for his car.
We're kicking off the hot rodding season at Westworld in Scottsdale, March 4th through 6th, with the 7th Spring Nationals.
We're here for the autocross racing competition.
Totally a hot rodder's dream.
The kids love the cars, and I love cars, so why not bring the family out, right?
We're the Good Guys, March 4th through 6th at Westworld. Get tickets and more info at good-guys.com.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Arizona, an amazing state for outdoor recreation and exploration. Full of mountains, lakes, streams, forests, and of course, our beautiful deserts. Hunting, fishing, camping. If it's about the outdoors, we've got it covered. KTAR invites you to Get Outdoors with Mike Russell today at noon. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and on every device with the KTAR app. KTAR News on 92.3 FM. Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Dave, did I hear a rumor that we're supposed to get some rain on Monday? I think we are. So, we're talking earlier about cooling systems. Sometimes we tend to talk about the big stuff, but don't forget about the windshield wiper blades. It's going to start raining Monday maybe. Today's a good time before you go to the car wash. And if you go to the car wash, you know it's going to rain. So.
Oh, yeah, it's like doing the rain dance, you know. But the windshield wiper thing, I don't know if I buy windshield wipers because it rained and they were terrible when it rained. And I buy them and I put them on the car, and by the time it rains again, they're all dried out and worth, so I'm just constantly buying windshield wipers, blades that I will actually never use.
I know, that happens. We warranty a lot of them for our customers, but, you can go clean and take a little Brillo pad and wipe them right off, and they they usually work good again. So you're listening to Bumper to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen. He's Dave Riccio, and we are here to help you with your car. So if you have a question about overheating or something silly like windshield wipers, that's no big deal. You can call us at 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. We do text as well, as long as you're not driving, at 411-923. And speaking of the little things, Dave, windshield wipers, light bulbs, that's easy stuff consumers can do at home, and I think it's things that are often overlooked at the repair shop. When you get a car and it's got all these problems that somebody was at another shop and they say, well, did you notice they didn't tell you anything about the license plate light bulb or the brake light bulb? And I saw a little blurb on the news this week about Arizona's going to make a big change in the laws. Now, all of a sudden, after all these years, you're going to be required to have 2 taillights on the car. Used to only be 1. Who would have thunk it, right?
It was one bulb on a carriage, not on a. Yeah. That's such an old law. Now, why did that come up?
Well, from what I read, it sounds like there's a DUI conviction overturned because the officer pulled the man or woman, I don't know what it was, pulled the person over because they had a burned out taillight. So I believe what happened after all that, the appeal process, they said it was a bad stop because he wasn't required to have 2 taillights as per the law. So probably it's one of those goofy laws, like you can't do certain things on Sundays in the town square or whatever. You got to get them updated, right?
I know, way out of date. Well, ask and you shall receive. We've got a board full of phone calls there. Let's go with Dizzy in Phoenix on an 05 Chrysler 300 with a Hemi in it. How can we help you, Dizzy? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Okay, I bought my wife this 05 Chrysler 300 with a Hemi, and she overheated it. And when she drove it, pulled up, it wasn't making any noise, anything. She shut it off. It was bubbling. So we let it cool down, added coolant. When we started it up, it started a bunch of white smoke.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts? I was thinking maybe cracked head.
Well, yeah, and what you're seeing there is you're actually not seeing smoke, but you're seeing steam. And what's probably happened is the car got hot. You said it overheated. So the parts of the engine, for people that are listening that don't know motors, you have the heads, the top of the engine bolted down to the main part of the block, and there's a gasket in there. And you've got to have water circulating between these parts to keep the engine cool. That thing got hot enough where it warped, burned the head gasket, blew it out, and now what you're getting is water into the combustion chamber, which is then burning and coming out the tailpipe in the form of steam. So people will say you have a blown head gasket, but really what needs to be happening is that engine needs to be taken apart. We're going to remove the cylinder heads. We're going to take them to our machine shop, have them cleaned, and then they're going to check them for cracks. If they were a metal or cast iron head, we can check them for cracks with what's called Magnaflux. On aluminum ones, you have to take all the valves out, plug up all the holes, pressurize them, look for leaks, and we're going to want to mill the surface and reassemble the engine, assuming everything is good.
For sure. Well, thanks for the call, Dizzy. 602-277-5827. I wish we had better news for you. It can be a major repair. That's why it's crucial not to overheat your engine. Just not something you want to do.
Well, and Dave, would you agree that an overheated engine is probably one of the most preventable things that we see a car getting towed in for, or a big repair could have been avoided by just simple...
Especially if you're at the shop and somebody pointed something out to you like, hey, your water pump's starting to leak, we want to do, we'll deal with that later. No, cooling system, we don't want to put that off. If the guy comes up and he's like, hey, you need an air filter, you're like, don't look that bad to me, kind of thing. Okay, I get that, but leaky water pump, no, we don't want to skip that. We want to take care of that right away. So 602-277-5827. Let's go to William in Phoenix on a 2010 Camaro SS. How can we help you, William? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, thanks, guys. My question is, if I want to supercharge my car, do I need to modify the engine for that, or can I just do the supercharge?
Well, that's a loaded question, Dave. Wouldn't you agree? I mean,
it depends on how much boost you want. If you start, the engine does need to be stronger. If you start cranking the boost way up, it's been a long time since I was a gearhead and was into that kind of stuff. But we got a shop at bumpertobumperradio.com that does a lot of those performance modifications. Automotive Diagnostics Service. They're in Chandler.
Automotive Diagnostic Specialties.
Specialties, all right.
AKA
ADS. That's why I just call them ADS. I don't want to say their whole name. But they do that kind of stuff, and you can. I mean, it's a slippery slope once you start modifying your car. You know, like, well, I'll just put a little mild supercharge on there, not a big deal, and then, you know, if a little is good, more must be better.
Well, they might have to do some programming. You might have to do something different with the fuel delivery system, and it all depends on how much pressure. The higher the pressure, the bigger the hole in your wallet and in the engine. So just keep that in mind. So I'd probably go pretty mild and get away without a lot of mods. But again, that the hotter you burn it, the more expensive it gets.
Well, thanks for the call. We're going to go with Michael in Phoenix on a 2003 GMC Envoy. How can we help you, Michael? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Well, thanks for taking my call. Listen, I've got the 2003 Envoy. In the wintertime, the air conditioning works fine here in Phoenix because it's not that warm. In the summertime, as soon as my temperature gets up to 86 degrees on the thermostat, it quits blowing cold air. Now, I'll give you a tip. I may have screwed it up by putting stop leak refrigerant in the radiator or in the coolant system. Well, so can I somehow flush that without tearing the system apart and throwing parts away?
Now, is it just when the temperature outside gets above 86, the air condition just doesn't put out? Is it still a little bit cool?
It kicks on and off.
Okay, so it's cycling?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever tried to fix this other than you charging it and putting the stop leak in?
I took it to a mechanic, and what he told me, they just wanted to replace the whole system, and I thought that was not right. You know, I know that sometimes you got to replace one component with another component, you know, two pieces together or something, but to replace the compressor, the dryer, the condenser, you know, I just didn't buy that.
Yeah, well, I mean, in some cases that's not necessary, but in a lot of cases it is. And depending on what stop leak you put in there and what the failure is, we have a thing called Black Death. That's when the compressor just grenades, and what happened, it just comes apart. That is an engine basically, and that thing is pumping when it grenades, the compressor, it's just pumping all that debris through the system, and it just is like a fine mush of black metal and ground up aluminum and such. And in those cases, you're never going to get that out. The flow of the refrigerant through these condensers and evaporators is so important. You get that trash and get that debris in there. Now coupled with stop leak, it's never going to work right. And the manufacturers sell AC component kits, and you do need to replace the condenser in a lot of cases. Now, if you just have a compressor that's leaking because it was leaking, and otherwise the performance of the system is good, you don't need to go in and replace every single thing. The other problem is that many manufacturers won't warranty the parts unless you replace certain components together all at once. So it really depends on how the system or what was the failure type that, you know, what caused the air conditioner to stop working and how did it fail is going to determine whether or not you need a lot of parts or fewer parts. If it's cycling on and off, let's find out why it's low on refrigerant first. But again, you've got that infected car. You got out there and you played around unprotected. And you've got that. Your car's got the goop now. So many cases,
the crud, the funk.
You're gonna
find get the funk in the AC system.
Got the funk. So a lot of shops won't service a car that's got the funk. You're kind of like banished on an island now.
Well, practice safe AC service. We've got Michelle, John, Michael, and Paul, and maybe time for one more at 602-277-5827. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a refreshing change in customer service? I'm Lee Weatherby from Accurate Automotive. How about a refreshing change in your car repair relationship with honest, clear, and responsive service that looks out for your needs and not ours? For over 20 years, we've been delivering award-winning service provided by ASE-certified technicians with one goal, looking out for your best interest. If it needs fixing, we'll tell you. If it doesn't, you'll know that too. I guarantee that you will not get that business-as-usual treatment at Accurate Automotive. Foreign and domestic, cars, trucks, and even fleet service, Accurate spirit can handle your job. I invite you to come in and experience a refreshing difference in car repair and maintenance. Stop by for a free courtesy inspection. A $49 value. We feel it is well worth our investment in you because we know that good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. I'm Lee Weatherby, and I'll be there to greet you. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robeson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out at AccurateAutomotiveAZ.com today.
Hey friends, Jerry Colangelo here, inviting you to swing by Red's Bar and Grill at the Wigwam Golf Club for a unique dining and entertainment experience. Overlooking the arch palms and rolling greens of the historic Golden Patriot courses, Red's is a central gathering spot for West Valley sports fans. With 14 big-screen TVs, there's plenty of room to watch all the games all season long. You can get in the Reds zone any day of the week for great specials, Thursday through Monday, and for happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. daily. See you there.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family-owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE MasterTechs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Welcome back to Bumper Radio. We've got Michelle, Tony, John, Gene, and Paul. Matt, we better get started right now if we're going to get to all these. Ooh.
Where did that come from?
Well, you said something about getting funk in your AC system. You know, you don't want to get the funk in your AC system.
No, you don't. What do you call it? STDs, service transmitted diseases.
Yeah,
and that's true. You can take, I think it's less prevalent now than it was, a few years ago. But you've got to be careful on who's servicing your cars. There is counterfeit parts out there that if your people are buying their product through a less than reputable supply chain, you can end up with counterfeit parts. There's different brands of refrigerant. I mean, we get peddlers that come around all the time selling this stuff, and we'll take our equipment and we'll test the equipment, or test their the brand new bottle of refrigerant that's got Acme brand on it instead of DuPont, and the guys in there selling for $50. We got to spend $200 to buy a thing of refrigerant, but we tested. It's got propane in it. So these things are out there. So when you're choosing your shop, you need to be at a shop. You don't want your car getting that service transmitted.
Transmitted disease. Your AC system.
And we have our AC recycler, and we go hook up to the car, and we've got some other car that's got the funk. Got our machine got the funk, and now your car's got the funk.
Hope there's no pus coming out of your AC system. Let's go with Paul. Santan Valley, 04 Chevy S10. How can we help you, Paul? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I do appreciate it. I like your show. I have a lot of miles on the car, almost 200,000 on the truck. I've had the heads redone before because I did blow a gasket. So I was driving home the other day, and I lost all my fluid. I think I lost my water pump. So I'm kind of looking at replacing my whole motor. And somebody quoted me $2,400 for the actual motor, $1,000 to put it in, and about $500 for other miscellaneous. Does that sound like a reasonable repair?
Yeah, I think it does, Dave. I mean, when we talk about replacing the motor, what else do you want to do with the motor? $2,400 for an engine, and I hope that would be what I maybe call a crate engine, or like a Jasper, a remanufactured, not used. $1,000 to put it in. That's 10 hours of labor at $100 an hour. Seems a little bit light to me.
Yeah, about 15 hours worth of work.
15 or 20 even. $500 for extra parts. I think that's a little bit light too.
Yeah,
we overheated the car. It depends on where in the life cycle. Do we want to put a radiator in it? Do we want to put motor mounts on it? You want to put spark plug, cap, rotor? Well, I don't know if that has cap, rotor, and wires on the 2004. It shouldn't.
Well, the water pump's out. The new motor's not going to come with a water pump on it. So you got to, those are all the things that start adding up, and there's a laundry list of stuff. You apparently love the truck, 200,000 miles. So I imagine if you're thinking about putting a motor in, you're going to run it for another 100,000, maybe 200,000 more miles. So, if you don't want to afford it the first time, so do it right the first time, so you don't have to do it the second time. Just get it done right. Make sure you're using good quality parts, and you can hang crummy stuff on that engine. Don't do it. Get good quality parts, put it together. So it sounds like you're on the right path, and it sounds reasonable, maybe a little bit on the light side.
But have a conversation. That's when you go and ask the questions.
Absolutely.
What else? Here's what you got, but what else could we be doing to make this better?
Let's go with Michelle in Mesa on an 06 Toyota Sienna van. How can we help you, Michelle?
Hi, enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Well, I just recently got 4 tires, and they told me I have a rack and pinion leak and something about a power steering hose. And they said it was going to be about $900 to fix it, but I did take it into somewhere else, and they said it was going to be $1,900. So I don't know, the problem with me is I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? How do I know that? I mean, I'm just a woman, and I really don't know how to work on cars, but is that a common thing you would think for a van, or?
It's not an uncommon thing for a van. That's a dramatic price difference between those two shops.
Yeah, I think somehow we're not comparing apples and apples.
Okay.
Well, I'll ask you this, Michelle. Are you seeing anything on the ground in your garage? Are you able to park in the same parking space every day pretty much?
Yeah, and I hear a little grinding in the steering because I just kind of parked my van. Now I'm not driving it because I don't want anything to happen, but I have never seen a spot of any type of oil or anything, no.
And did the second shop, are they the ones that were the $1,900? They were $1,000 more than the last shop.
Yeah, they were just a mechanic place here in Mesa, yeah. The other one was like the tire store, so.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know that, and are these places that you frequent? I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy. You come here a lot? But is that your regular mechanic?
No, I just didn't really know what to do. I just thought, I just saw a place. Growing up here in Mesa, I just saw a place and thought, well, maybe I could just go get a second opinion, they always said, Yeah. But I just thought, wow, that's a dramatic change.
Well, here's what I would suggest doing. It sounds to me, there is a problem. There's something going on with the car. She does have a symptom. That's why I wanted to make sure that, we didn't have something that was barely sweating or something.
Right,
like
yeah.
that.
We got growling because the power steering more than likely is running low on fluid, and then we got puddles.
But she also sounds a bit like an orphan. She went somewhere. So what I want you to do, go to bumpertobumperradio.com. In Mesa, there's a couple shops that we endorse, Mesa Auto Works and Acura Automotive. And I think you need to go in for your third opinion. And go in, schedule a time with them, and ask them, can you please show me this stuff? Can you tell me, show me out to the car, take them both the estimates. Don't be shy. I have customers that they want a second opinion, and they always say, well, I don't want to show you the paperwork. I don't care what other people quoted. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter. We're going to look at the car. We're going to go over everything. We'll show you, and then we can talk about, is this a breakdown issue? Is this something that really needs to happen right now? What else goes along with this? But it seems to me that those two estimates are so far apart that there's something wrong there.
Apples, oranges, and then coconuts. So let's go with John in Phoenix on a cooling question. You got it there, Matt?
Yeah, there we go.
He's learning the new phone system.
Yep.
How can we help you, John? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I usually listen to you every week, and I just wanted to relate a story about cooling. I remember many years ago, when it was in the 120s, and me, my ex-wife, and my mother and father-in-law went up to Flagstaff, and climbing up the mountains in my Grand Marquis that I had modified with police interceptor parts, with the engine oil cooler, the transmission cooler, the power steering cooler, and everybody's on the side of the road overheating with their windows down and got the windows rolled up and just cruising up the hill.
So how did you do that? What did you do?
Well, I had just had the put the police interceptor parts on. I had bought a a surplus ex-Crown Victoria and stripped out all the parts from that and put it on a Grand Marquis. And boy, do I miss that car. I really do. But it was 120 and just climbing up the mountain with the air conditioning on full blast, everybody's cold, and seeing all the people on the side bubbling and their windows down.
I hate being on the side of the road. You know, you drive to San Diego, you see those people on the side of the road. You know, and they got those signs every now and says, radiator water pull off.
John was kind of sounded like he was enjoying that. You know, John's the guy rolling down the road in the police interceptor going 54, right down the center of the freeway, right?
Well, I think we can sneak in one last one. Let's go with Gene with an 04 F-150 pickup. How can we help you, Gene? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, I've got this little Ford. I bought it new back in 2004, in December 2004. I always got it's got a little V8, whatever that is, 4.7 or something. And I always got about 17 miles to the gallon. And about a year ago, it just kind of dropped to like 13, just like overnight. And so I had the fuel filter replaced. I had the spark plugs replaced. And it just hadn't helped anything. So,
hey Gene, are you talking about sometimes these vehicles, they give you an estimated fuel mileage, or is this you're calculating this out at the gas pump? So in other words, I put in this many gallons and I got this many miles, that type of thing.
You know what? I've done both ways.
Okay.
I've done it on a 1,200-mile trip, and I will, if I'm like on the interstate going back home, it will get up to 14 or 14.2, but just driving around, it's like 13 miles.
Well, that's
but prior to that, I drove it around here for 6-7 years, and I always got close to 17, no matter what.
Right. Well, there's something going on there. Any more of these cars, late model, they're pretty smart cars. So usually, if there's something that's going to dramatically affect something that well, there's usually going to be some sort of error in the system that's going to say something's not right with it.
And even if there's not, that's where you need an experienced technician who knows how to not only have that scan tool and read codes, but has to go in and be able to really read the EKG and know what all those numbers and lines mean.
Yeah, our fuel trims, what those things look like.
Yeah, we can find the subtle problems there that add up to be something big.
We're glad you can join us. Make sure to get out to the Good Guys Car Show. Thanks, Bree, for running the dials. Get your cooling system ready for summer. We'll see you next week.